Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Yes, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the mill. So this is a new project. It's been brewing for a while, and now we're finally kind of at a really exciting stage where we're going out to the market and really going to start to be able to test out lots of really interesting ideas. Just before I get into the Dundee program, I think we're really lucky here. I think Scotland really does have a really strong vision. And I think we're really fortunate. There's a lot of good leadership, really kind of pushing this agenda, to be much smarter in the way we do things, and really kind of push us to a low carbon economy. And I think that's a really, we are in an exciting time. And there's a number of areas that are kind of evolving in that area. So the economy, trying to create a strong economy around this and good, strong business models around this is a real key challenge. And trying to create, strong investment and create, economic growth around these areas is a real kind of key component of this. And I think the other key areas around this that really kind of line up is Scotland has these very strong targets, and we've heard about those already this morning, and it's fantastic to see that Scotland is really trying to lead the way here. But it's really important that we don't leave people behind. I think that's a really kind of key component. We do have a lot of challenges to overcome with different areas. Aging populations, social deprivation. So it's really important that this doesn't become kind of an elite economy. It must be something that works across a number of different, for a number of different users, really, a number of different people. So Dundee, it's a really, I think we can see, there's so much fantastic things going on here. There's this massive regeneration program going on, and it's really exciting to see. There's a really strong vision, strong leadership, strong approach to really taking this out, over a long period of time, and really helping to transform the city. Just recently, the Wall Street Journal named Dundee, Scotland's coolest city, and that's in the top 10 locations for 2018. And that's a real, that's a fantastic achievement to have that from the Wall Street Journal. And some of that is really, linked to, we've got the V&A opening in the summer, the UNESCO City of Design. It really kind of embraces design and the potential of what design can mean for cities. It's really exciting. And then obviously with the electric city, with the EVs, the largest fleet, it really is kind of leading the way in what's potential, what's possible here. So it's a real privilege to be involved in the mill and with this project. So a little bit about the mill. So it's acronym Mobility, Innovation, Living Laboratory. So that's really about testing out, using the whole city to test out sustainable mobility solutions. And I'll get into a little bit more detail about what those are in a second. We've got a first wave of pilots, which are called the Share More pilots. And we've got £950,000 to invest in a raft of programs. But it's really about sustainability. It's about creating accessible transport for as many people as possible. It's about attracting investment. This is not 950,000 seems a reasonable amount, but there's a lot more that we can definitely really want to build on that momentum, and create more economic opportunities. I think this is really the key opportunity, and really have kind of Dundee as this beacon of what's potentially possible, and then push out that knowledge out to other cities across Scotland, across the UK, and globally, because we're all facing the same challenge. How do we deal with this transportation mobility challenge? There's so many key challenges within that. So a little bit about the mill. So the Living Lab approach, it's really about taking ideas. So we've got a number of ideas that we're already going to be procuring on, but we want to explore more of those. It's not a closed door. It's definitely about exploring the challenges and how we overcome those. And then this is the core part. It's about sort of co-production, co-creation, asking people, does this solution work? Not just rolling out solutions and hoping they'll work, about really testing those, really kind of using the sort of lab approach and really exploring those potential with real people, real users who are going to use this technology or use these new ideas. And then beyond that, it's then into how does that scale, and how do we create sustainable business models so that we don't have the end of the pilot, okay, that's the end of the pilot, and everything kind of flitters away. It's about building sustainable business models and really supporting the companies, supporting the innovations that come through the mill, through their next wave of funding, or supporting them into the next city that they want to go and explore. And the other Scottish cities, this is Scottish Cities Alliance, involved with this are really kind of looking at Dundee to see, okay, if it works there, then we can start to then roll it out to the other cities. So it's a real beacon for what's potentially possible. So, as I said, co-creating. So this is very much user-centered design. So it's very much about understanding what the real people need and then designing solutions, designing services around those needs, not the other way around, not coming up with a piece of technology and then trying to enforce it onto people. My but is in this, is there's a lot of behavioral change, and there's a lot of key challenges we've got to overcome as we kind of transition over to new technology and over to electric vehicles and some of the inherent challenges around that. As we explore mobility as a service, there's lots of really interesting challenges in there. So there's a lot of behavioral change that we're going to have to communicate with the people of Dundee and beyond what this can potentially mean. So it's definitely a journey together. Then the exciting part, really, we've got the people who want to test out these ideas, and then we can then use the city and the infrastructure of Dundee to really explore how that works. So that's a fantastic opportunity, because often, as I know from working on other smart city programs, they can be very sort of small little pilots, and this is about trying to take the whole city as a lab. So really trying to scale it up to the next level, just from sort of street to bigger. And then the important part, as I said earlier, how do you build sustainable business models? How do those ideas then start to scale and grow and expand globally? Because we really want to bring more investment into Dundee, to create more opportunities here, to test out more of these ideas and then export them globally. So we've got our office, which is fantastic. We're going to be in District 10, so really exciting new freight containers, basically all linked up, so we're going to be there in January. So this is our team at this stage, so you obviously know David very well. Paul, who's just joined us on Monday, has just joined. So Paul's a Dundonian, and he's been away for 10 years, and he's now coming back. And he's bringing his family up to come and live here and to help to deliver this program. He's going to be the program manager and innovation manager on this. My role's more partnerships. I'm trying to join all the dots. It's a lot of dots to join, so it's really exciting. And then we're looking for new roles. So there's some interesting opportunities will start to come up as we build our team and roll out some of the projects. So this is I'll go into a bit more detail now about where this £950,000 and where we want to invest. What are the things we're really looking to test out? We've got another event straight after this one where we'll hear from some of the members from the council, from the team, and they'll really go into a bit more detail about some of the challenges that they face. But just the kind of the core of it is, so we've got the procurement is going through the process at the moment, should be out early January, then have a 4-week procurement process, and then we really want to kick off the pilots as soon as possible in 2018, and then finish November 2019 for the sort of first wave, and then building that momentum all the way through. So lot 1 is a really interesting one. I think this is one of the, they're all interesting, but this one's a behavioral change challenge. So it's shared mobility. So it's the kind of mobility as a service concept that you guys in the room all know about. You're kind of aware of these ideas of how do we nudge behavior, get people to not own a car and to use all the different forms of transport that are around. And there's obviously active travel kind of comes into that as well. So how do we get people to walk and to cycle more as well? And there's some really big targets that Scotland and Dundee are pushing for on this as well. So I think there's some really interesting opportunities in that space, and we've got £200,000 to test out some ideas in that area. Lot 2, so this is around fleet management. So there's a number of fleets. Obviously, Dundee's it's got a great fleet already, but it's how do we extend on that? How do we build on that? And how do we look at working that with other partners, bringing in other public sector partners or private sector partners? And then how do we manage that fleet in a better way? Really kind of optimizing that for its most efficient use. And again, there's a reasonable budget there to really test out and explore some interesting solutions there, both technically and physically. So parking, I think we've heard already some really good, interesting examples this morning around some of the challenges and some of the opportunities. And this is really, again, this lot is really to try and explore some of those opportunities and see what solutions we can come up with, and then definitely about how do they scale and how do we overcome some of the barriers. So there's some good lessons learned I've already learned from today. I think this is a piece where Scotland's very well placed to test out these things, as we have a good community to really dive into this and try and address these challenges. And then lot 4, so there's lots of data. Data is kind of the essence of everything now, so everything produces data. We spit out, masses of data, buildings do. Everything's going to get connected within the next 5 to, well, not even that. I mean, it's happening at such a vast rate now. It's, everything's going to be connected. So how do we use that data? That's the challenge. It's not about getting access to the data, it's doing something with the data. And that's really what this lot 4 is trying to do, is to try and explore the existing data sets that the council owns or has access to. So some of those will be siloed, some of those will be shared, and some of those will be opened up. And then it's about using the data that's collected from the new projects as well, and how can we optimize and look at more efficient ways. We've got, a really exciting time with data. We've got machine learning and artificial intelligence, which is coming now. It's not like 5-10 years away, it's right now. So it just needs data, that's all it needs. And it needs smart brains and algorithms to try and really optimize solutions, and there's a huge potential here. And then the active travel components, so city-wide bike sharing schemes. So this is, Dundee's had a number of organizations approach them to offer them bike sharing schemes. So we're sort of wrapping that up into this procurement process to try and streamline that and look at how we can join the dots, how we can bring that together so it becomes a proper sort of active travel component, not just as you go to some cities and you see these bikes kind of littered around randomly. We want to try and not just do that, we want to make it a bit smarter. So there's a good opportunity there. So the practicals, if you're interested in these lots, and I hope some of you will be, there's the ITT is up on Public Contract Scotland, Public Contract Scotland, and the call proposals will, so there's an ITT at the moment, and the call proposals will go out in beginning of January, and then there's a 4-week period, and then we want to get cracking as soon as possible. So a good opportunity. Oh, good. So that's a bit about the mill, and I hope you're all excited by that, the potential of that. But I also want to talk to you about another really great opportunity that I hope you will like to get involved with and to really support. So in the summer of 2018, around when the golf is on at Carnoustie, we want to have an international festival of big ideas. So this is really a chance to bring together lots of these different ideas that are emerging around smart cities, smart mobility, and the kind of 4th industrial revolution, which is happening now, and how everything's kind of becoming interconnected. And to have that on the waterfront, so we've got Slessor Garden kind of penciled in to hopefully have a big top, invite people in, showcase their technology, showcase their ideas, get companies to showcase what they've been up to in the mill, really bring together the wider community to showcase what's possible. And then there's great exhibition space as well that we can kind of use and have some pop-up spaces. So some of the larger companies that are involved in these areas can showcase their new technology, and they can showcase their cars, they can showcase their energy hubs, lots of different things. So really keen if you're interested to get involved in that. We're just starting to sort of package that up and look at sponsorship packages, and then we'll start to disseminate that around the teams to see what kind of interest is. But I think it's such a fantastic opportunity to really sort of tap into all these different, there's kind of an alignment going on with the V&A opening, the Carnoustie, the Open, and then with the mill. It all feels like there's the right time to do this. So that's really my sort of summary, is that this is a really fantastic opportunity to put the Tay Cities region, the whole region, on the world stage. And with the mill, that's a good kind of beacon. And then with the event as well, I think there's a really rich opportunity. And we're going to have 500,000 more people come to the city when next door opens. So it will be great to kind of showcase, the wider potential of what else we're up to. So I think that's me, because I've kind of run through the next steps already for the mill. So sign up on Public Contract Scotland, and then come and talk to us if you're interested in the Festival of Big Ideas. Thank you very much.